Colorado is home to many diverse voices. But perhaps none louder than those who are Hispanic and Latino.
Les está gustando nuestra música, en este caso el estilo mexicano.
For generations, they have enriched our nation and state with their culture, but their stories are often forgotten.
There's already a lot of things that's going through as migrants. We want to see more positive things.
Over the next 30 minutes, we are honoring the traditions and contributions of Hispanic culture in Colorado. Hispanic cuisine, sports, and music have deep roots here in Colorado. Today, we show you this rich history. Thanks for joining us on this special edition of 9 News. I'm Jeremy Hohola.
And I'm Angela McCall. So often these stories go untold or totally forgotten, and this show is meant to highlight the contributions of the Latino and Hispanic community right here in the Centennial State, starting here at the Denver Performing Arts Complex. This is called the Catrinas en Mi Ciudad art exhibit. It is inspired by Dia de los Muertos, featuring pieces from several international and Colorado artists. The Catrinas are an iconic symbol of the Mexican holiday, and they're typically depicted as tall, skeletal women wearing elegant dresses full of flowers, color, and vibrancy. The Catrinas serve as a lesson that death is a natural part of life and meant to be honored. And speaking of symbols, there's another one very representative of the immigrant experience, and you might know it as the monarch butterfly, known just as much for their beauty as they are for their resilience and strength. We share why the monarch has become a symbol for so many immigrants who have taken the journey to a better life.
Okay.
When he puts his brush to canvas, every stroke has meaning.
It's something that I paint what I feel like it's right for me.
In Jules Mendoza's artwork, there's one thing he returns to. Just like the insect he paints.
There's a big purpose behind the life of a butterfly, the monarch butterfly.
Jules knows how difficult the journey can be. 3,000 miles for monarch butterflies, less for him.
My parents decided to come here just for a better life. I lived in Juarez. I think it was a lot of the cultural shock. There's those symbols that you connect with that make you feel more resilient about things that are hard, like hard things that you have to do.
That was when he was 11 years old. Today, it's part of his inspiration.
Even though the butterfly people see as a fragile insect, it endures like the journey of going through traveling all those miles is a big symbol of migration.
Inspiration, not only for Jules, but for anyone who's found a home in a place they didn't know before.
And as a child of immigrants that are the children of immigrants, then the story really resonates with me too.
Shidan Herskovich studies butterflies at the Butterfly Pavilion.
It's a pretty cool gig.
After growing up surrounded by them in Panama.
One of the most iconic butterflies of all times.
Instinct will carry monarchs to forests they've never been to before, the same ones from their past generations, stretching from Mexico all the way to Canada.
It's a really unique migration, and so beautiful that it's almost like magic.
The same monarch connecting strangers thousands of miles away.
Definitely, I hope that whenever somebody sees a monarch butterfly, they see it as a connecting force. It really ties us all together.
Off the bat, I think it's just such a beautiful piece, and again, using that image to represent, our people.
Jules' butterfly creation found a home at the Denver Botanic Gardens.
He kind of, tells his own story.
Karen Rojas Mesa curated the exhibit.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful metaphor, right? I think that just perfectly mirrors a lot of the obstacles, a lot of the hopes and dreams that exist in human migration stories. Crossing a border, going to a new place, going to a new country, it's learning a new language. It's an incredible journey in its own, just like monarch butterflies.
Jules hopes people learn something beyond just the monarch's beauty.
Paint something that represents the people and creates questions for those that don't know.
And then there are the people who already know the meaning, who might find comfort in the journey of a butterfly that came before them.
I hope they see a symbol of hope, resilience, and they see represented themselves there.
The artist Jules Mendoza hopes that when you see a monarch butterfly, you might be able to reflect on what brings us together and unites us and the many similarities we share versus our differences. Joy is something that we all need to find, and it's something we also tend to look for, even when it's difficult.
Antonia Velez shows us one woman who is helping people find a little bit more joy in their lives, one laugh at a time.
You don't need to speak a certain language to understand this. But comedian Rebecca Trejo knows, in order to get there, you need to get the punchline. It's why she tells jokes in English.
You guys are like, yep, the Latina is here.
And Spanish.
Yo quiero que todos ustedes se den un fuerte aplauso por estar aquí esta noche, apoyando la comedia en español.
Comedy, more people can comprehend and relate to.
There's such a lack of representation in stand-up comedy here for Hispanic and Latinos, even though we make 34% of the population in Denver. My show was the only one locally in Spanish.
To her, these shows are about more than telling jokes on a stage.
Your creative spaces for people to come in and see their identity reflected.
They're about giving her community something vital.
Obviously, we're Latinos, we're immigrants in this country. We need to laugh as well, especially us, because we're crying most of the time.
Before coming to Colorado in 2021, Rebecca moved from her birthplace in Venezuela to Puerto Rico to Louisiana.
Much of my comedy, what I write, what I talk about, it's immigration stuff. What story do I really want to tell as an immigrant, as a mother, or just as a human being, you know, paying bills on a flying rock?
As a journalist turned comedian, words remained a close friend through all her journeys.
I wanted to do something with my writing, but then I wanted to inspire people. I felt like I had gone through a really low moment in the pandemic and I was able to kind of get out. I'm gonna take a motivational speaking class, and then I got to the motivational speaking class and it was a stand-up comedy class.
Mixing bilingual storytelling with humor, she planted a seed in Denver and watched it grow.
And there is a growing scene in many Latinos that are finally being able to tell their jokes and their story in their native tongue.
And why is that important?
Because it's different. The mannerism is being understood without having to explain yourself. You're just going into the joke without having to set up a premise of validating your humanity.
You've been lovely. Good night, Lakewood!
With Tom Cole and Gonzalo Bedoya, Antonia Velez, 9 News.
For our next story, we take you to a kitchen just outside of Denver, but this isn't just any kitchen. It's the home office of a successful food author you may already be following. Here's the woman behind Muy Bueno. From a black and white photo of history and humble beginnings.
My grandma was born in Chihuahua and was forced to leave during the Mexican Revolution.
To a kitchen full of color so many years later. Here, food is a time machine.
So after school, straight to grandma's house, making flour tortillas and salsa, and I was always in the kitchen with her.
Yvette Marquez Sharpnack, who was originally from El Paso, never dreamed of becoming a food author. She runs the popular Muy Bueno website and social media pages.
Growing up, my family would make fun of me because I'd never wanted to be in the kitchen.
The recipe for her success began with a simple ingredient 15 years ago, and that was passion. Passion to save her family's recipes.
My daughter, who was 8 years old at the time, said, "Do you have these recipes written down?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Well, you should write them down and have a cookbook so that when I go off to college, I can have a cookbook and make these recipes." It grew from there, and I started a blog thinking I will journey the journal of writing a cookbook. And then other people started commenting saying, "I want this cookbook." It's like, "You want my family cookbook?" I never thought I would have a cookbook.
15 years later, Yvette has published 3 books and has been featured in the New York Times, the Food Network, and other media. Today, Muy Bueno, with a large social media presence, is now a full-time business with the work happening in this Highlands Ranch home kitchen. You have this cultural kind of like blossoming happening here in the middle of Highlands Ranch, of all places.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that this would be happening in Highlands Ranch.
Right.
In a very suburban looking street like yours.
Yeah, for sure. I even forget it because I live on such an online world, you know, and I talk about my hometown of El Paso a lot, and I talk about my grandma being from Chihuahua, and I think a lot of people don't even realize I live in Colorado or live in Highlands Ranch.
Yvette also partners with major food brands. In the future, she has plans to expand her business.
I think first-gen students just sometimes need that extra support or extra like, okay, hey, they did it, I can too. And so I think that just, you know, defines everything that we want to do.
A scholarship program is giving Colorado students an opportunity to go to college and pursue their dreams.
From the sugar beet fields to the diamond, a Fort Collins exhibit is spotlighting the Hispanic baseball players who shaped Northern Colorado history.
Entonces la gente se divierte, se emociona y le gusta, se la pasa a gusto, el tiempo se va rápido.
And a Mexican band is bringing rhythm to one Aurora spin class.
For first-generation students, they might be the first in their family to apply or to go to college, and with firsts often come different obstacles.
Yeah, a local foundation is helping them write their own success stories. Byron Reed shows us how they're making dreams a reality.
Walking through your alma mater can be nostalgic.
But I feel like a super senior still walking through these halls.
For Lucina Herrera Pacheco, the halls at Greeley West High School are a reminder of how far she's come.
I feel like being here is just like going backwards, and I've just worked so hard to progress. Class photo of the class of 2025.
Herrera Pacheco is a freshman at CU Boulder majoring in political science. It's a path she didn't think was possible.
I'm a first-gen college student, so I didn't have anybody to like hold my hand and tell me, oh, this is how you do it, this is where you should apply, this is when you should apply.
She says being a first-gen student, she didn't have the help at home.
Like my mom, she dropped out of school when she was in 5th grade, and my dad dropped out when he was in high school.
Right here.
But during her last years of high school, she heard about a solution.
Like they would come speak to our class. Like, they would talk about it like, oh, like when first gen, like you guys have a really big opportunity, like please take this scholarship.
I'm the daughter of 2 Mexican immigrants. The only thing I bleed are my mother's tears and dreams.
She applied for a scholarship from the Mi Leyenda Foundation.
So Mi Leyenda is my legend.
A group that promotes academic achievement for first-generation students.
I think first-gen students just sometimes need that extra support or extra like, okay, hey, they did it, I can too. And so I think that just, you know, defines everything that we want to do.
Royer Lopez is one of the founders of the foundation. He started the nonprofit with his wife to provide high schoolers with scholarship opportunities and resources.
So we have the financial support, networking opportunities, and then we have mentoring.
Lopez and his wife were first-gen students and graduated from CU Boulder. He says they wanted to inspire others to create their own legacy.
My wife and I are just huge on higher ed. You know, it's done so much for us. I mean, my wife works there now. I'm very involved as an alum, and I really care about making that experience better for people who come after me.
So far, the foundation has provided 3 students with scholarships worth $1,000 each.
To be able to help elevate them and know that maybe we played a little bit of a part in their success and their ability to impact others, I think that would be my biggest hope.
This is like my stepping stone, like, and then after that, like, I got more scholarships. It was like the starting point.
For Lucina, the goal is to continue a pathway.
I want to be an immigration lawyer.
Started in these halls, trying to figure out what's next.
Like if I could go back and tell, like, first semester senior year me, I'd be like, just because you didn't get the first scholarship doesn't mean you're not gonna make it. You're gonna be okay.
In Greeley,
rejection is redirection. You're gonna go to college, yay!
Byron Reed, 9 News.
If you want to play ball, go after that dream, because looking at these guys, it's possible. Anything's possible.
An exhibit in Fort Collins is honoring Hispanic baseball players who created their own league in the face of discrimination.
From Sugar to Diamonds, that's the name of an exhibit in Fort Collins honoring Mexican baseball players in northern Colorado.
Yeah, Hispanic workers would go from one field to another to play the game known as America's favorite pastime. Amanda Gilbert shows us why this history is so important.
Many know the joys of a fun Rockies game on a summer night. But not everyone knows the deeper history of baseball in Colorado, which is why Betty Aragon Matores spent years on the From Sugar to Diamonds documentary and exhibit.
We're crediting Gabriel and Jody Lopez for allowing us to use the title of their book for our exhibit.
Interviews from our community members preserve stories of sugar beet workers who played ball on the weekends for community and fun.
Come out here. This all used to be weeds.
In the 20s and 30s, Betty says America's favorite pastime wasn't accessible for all.
There was a lot of discrimination in Fort Collins, signs that said white trade only, no dogs, no Mexicans.
But there was so much passion for the game in northern Colorado.
They formed their own leagues up and down northern Colorado, and they played each other.
But these trophies that my dad had stored, one of them is when they were the state champions in 1948.
John Moore's dad played in a league in Fort Collins.
The Latino community made up a higher percentage of the population that was around. So everybody knew about the baseball teams, the baseball leagues. In the beginning, the teams were all mostly Mexican-American heritage, playing ball together.
Moving into the 40s, the late 40s, where white players started taking a look at them and saying, they're pretty good players, maybe we should play with them.
Betty says, look at where we are today.
In sports, there's a lot of diversity. And if you want to play ball, go after that dream. Because looking at these guys, it's possible. Anything's possible.
The exhibit features memorabilia, newspaper clippings, and stories from baseball players across northern Colorado, including Fort Collins and Greeley. We're taking you inside an Aurora spin class where traditional Mexican music meets exercise.
These days, you might spot more spin studios than breweries in Denver, but even with this competitive market, one business really stands out.
Jaleesa Irizarry shows us one woman who's blending heritage and heart with every class.
On Sundays, those parked in this Aurora lot don't look to close out their weekends with rest, but rather rhythm.
Hoy no hay tequila.
Norma Mireles opened this cycling gym about 3 months ago. She wanted to create a class where culture and cardio collide, a place where people can feel the music, quite literally. Folks can sign up for a pedal workout that brings out the brass.
Estamos empezando las clases con banda. O sea, lo estoy haciendo porque el público me lo pidió.
Norma's offering a spin on the traditional cycling class, hosting a full band to fuel the session.
Mi esposo trabaja en una banda y se me hizo más fácil, él es el que canta y se me hizo más fácil armar el grupo con él para que él me ayudara.
Norma es mi esposa y por eso. Y ella, cuando ella empezó el proyecto, pues ella me dijo, quiero poner una banda, Ya le dije, no, pues está bien.
What started as a family affair has turned into a flourishing business, featuring artists like Jorge Flores.
Este estilo que le llamamos tamborazo banda Catrina. Tamborazo banda porque pues regularmente los tamborazos es a puro viento, ¿verdad? Y yo le llamo tamborazo banda porque metemos lo que es el vocalista, la tuba.
Queda como va subiendo de ritmo, uno tiene que ir cambiándole también a la música. Más recio, entre más. Entonces la gente se divierte, se emociona y le gusta, se la pasa a gusto. El tiempo se va rápido. Así sea 1 hora, 2 horas, el tiempo pasa rápido.
Time may not fly quite as fast for everybody.
Jesus Christ!
But Lorena Flores wouldn't want to work out any other way. She, like so many others, found the class through viral videos posted by some of the cyclists.
¿Qué no le gusta de la banda? Si puedes bailar una hora, puedes hacer esto por una hora.
Sí, haz de cuenta que estamos haciendo algo diferente, que todo mundo puede venir, no importa la raza, o sea, el color, sino simplemente tomar una clase divertida entre todos.
If Norma's class sizes are any indicator, the party is proving to be popular. Since it's trended on socials, they're selling out some sessions.
Tuve que dejar gente afuera porque ya no tenía espacio.
But for so many, this is more than a weekend workout. It's a space where tradition sets the soundtrack, where sweat meets soul.
Ahora sí que nos une porque las personas también de Colombia les está gustando nuestra música, en este caso el estilo mexicano, ¿verdad? La cultura mexicana les está gustando y se están adaptando también a uno, también nosotros nos estamos adaptando a ellos y poco a poco esto va creciendo más.
All these stories and all of our news coverage can be found on our streaming platform, 9 News Plus. It's free to watch, just download on your TV. And with that, thank you for joining us for honoring our Hispanic culture.
We hope you have learned a little bit more about history and heritage here in Colorado. Thanks for watching.